Hey, hi, how are ya? We're back again. This time we're making plum cake. This cake I have found out is from the 1970s, or at least that's what I read. My Aunt Em had gotten this recipe from a coworker quite a few years ago from a work party, and she really liked it, so she decided that she would like it as well. And then she must have shared it at some point or told my grandmom about it, and my grandmom asked for the recipe, and that's how the recipe ended up in the book. So we're going to make this today. It calls for 2 4-ounce jars of plum baby food. This is prune baby food, which is essentially the same thing because they don't make specifically plum baby food anymore. So then it is 2 cups of self-rising flour, 2 cups of sugar. We already know, right? Gosh, so much. All right, 3 eggs we have right here, 1 whole cup of oil. My recipe says oil, just oil. Motor oil, vegetable oil, castor oil. What kind of oil do you want, man? Well, I already figured it to be vegetable oil, but in another recipe I found, it is in fact vegetable oil. So then we have a cup of chopped pecans, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, the directions on the back say preheat the oven to 350, which I've already got that done. Another recipe said 325 and they're all for an hour. Another recipe called for 3/4 of a cup of oil, but we got to go with what's going on in the book. So this one says 1 whole cup and 350. So that's what we're doing. You're going to pour everything into 1 bowl, mix well. We know how I feel about that, but I think there's not a whole lot of, there's no butter. I don't know. We're going to do it. We're going to do it the way the recipe says, I think, today. Next is going to be mix well. And I did read that you don't want to use a mixer, so we're going to hand mix everything. Just, I don't want to overwork it. And then it's supposed to be pour into a greased and floured bundt pan and bake for 1 hour. So I have our greased and floured bundt pan all ready to go. I actually did a quick video to show you how to actually flour and grease a bundt pan or a cake pan, any kind of cake pan. All right, now we're gonna add everything together and stick her in the oven, I guess. It's another fast one. My sister-in-law and my niece are coming over today. Hi, Amelia. And they had asked if they should bring anything. And last night I was like, oh, bring sweets. I don't have any of that yet. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this plum cake today. Then I read it. It's more like sweet bread. There's no icing. I don't know. But I told her, don't worry about it. And then I was like, oh, it's a recipe from the 70s. And she's like, oh, okay, I have a feeling they're going to show up with cookies. So that's all right, though. We'll have this cake. My aunt actually would like to try it. So I think I'm going to try and get some over to her, before we head out on our vacation soon. So, all right, let's put everything in the bowl. I'm still going to start with the sugar and the eggs. I'm going to add it in the way I like to add it in. So sugar, and then sugar. Get those out of there. I don't want to crack and dump all over our other eggs. All right, crack and dump. This plum cake is not to be confused with plum cake that is from like England, I think, overseas, or Italian plum cake maybe. There's 2 different kinds. There's this really simple plum cake recipe. And then there's plum cake that's like raisins, and it's like an actual cake more than it is like a bread. So, all right, dump our oil in. And then I think we're going to do the baby food. This is more or less just to add, the sugar adds the sweetness, but the baby food is more or less just to add moisture. So at least that's what I read. All right, we're going to get that in there. Okay. Wipe the hand off. So I'm going to mix all these. Oh my God, baby food everywhere. Okay, I'm going to mix all of our wet ingredients first, just because I like to do that. All right, we're going to use a whisk instead, because this is going to, I think, incorporate these wet ingredients together a little bit better than that spoon. We'll go back to the spoon for the dry ingredients. Okay, I think that looks decent for now. That's what that looks like. Nice and oily, and it's gonna be fine. It looks great. Okay. We're gonna dump the cinnamon and nutmeg in there. So I'm gonna whisk the dry ingredients together. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg into the 2 cups of self-rising flour. We're gonna mix this a little bit at a time. So self-rising flour is gonna, it's what you use in place of, I think, baking powder. Oh, look, the chemicals. It's either baking soda or baking powder, but one of them makes it rise. So, but I think with self-rising flour, you don't need that. Guess that's in the name. And I probably didn't need to tell you. If I did and you learned something new today, you're welcome. All right. I'm assuming you're hand mixing it because you don't want to overmix. All right, I'm just going to dump the rest of this in because this is giving my arm a workout. And I want to get it done and over with. Do I sound okay? Oh, look, these new spoons that I got are emerald spoons. I didn't even notice that when I bought them from Home Goods. They were on sale and mine are old, so I bought some new ones. I also got a microphone. My husband also makes videos. If you ever want to check him out, his name is Norse Power, and he works on quads. He works on everything really, but his page really, the main thing on his page is quads. I was using his microphones. So he's filming today, and when I told him I was going to do this, he was like, I'm filming. I get the microphones. And I was like, okay. He ordered me some microphones off of Amazon. And they came by the next morning, but I don't know. I did a test run, and I don't know. I think I like his better, honestly. All right, pecans going in. Pecans, tomato, potato, caramel. All right, we're adding all that in. This is thick. And then she's going to go in the bundt pan for an hour. And Google doesn't recognize how bundt is spelled. B-U-N-D-T. Maybe, no, not Google. My phone. I typed it into my phone, and it was like negative. There's no D in that word. And it tried to change it to something else. I was like, no, this is a real word. I know it is. I Googled it because then it made me feel like I was an idiot, and it wasn't the right word. Or wasn't the way it was spelled. Floured bundt pan, giant bowl. I got to do it this way or else I'm going to make a mess. All right, and then I'm going to put this on a baking sheet. Maybe. Get in there. I'm going to ask my home computer, always listening to me device real quick, if I need to put this on a pan, or can I just put this in the oven? Can you just put this? I've never used one of these before. Can you just put... Can this just go by itself on the rack? It seems uneven. Maybe a pan. I'm going to Google. Be right back. Alexa, do I need to put a cookie sheet underneath a bundt pan?
It is recommended to place a cookie sheet or baking pan underneath a bundt pan to catch any overflow liquids during baking.
The listening lady told me I should use one of these. So, which I figured to catch anything, but also because, I don't know, feel weird having that just on the rack. So I'm going to put this in the oven. It's going to go in for an hour, and then we'll see how it goes. Give it a taste. Welcome back. Here she is, fresh out of the oven. She looks like she's pulled away a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I did a good enough grease job. So I have let it sit and cool a little bit. It's still warm, but I'm impatient. So, you know, what are you going to do? I'm going to pull this off of here. Use my wire rack to flip it. Look at this. Take these off. These are not hands. All right. So I'm going to flip it all onto a paper towel. Use the towel because the sides are still a little hot. And we're going to give it a flip and hope that it... Oh, I think it squeezed out. Uh-oh. Yes? Oh, shit. Oh my gosh. All right. There it is. All nice and nice looking. There it is. You can see I smashed the pan into the side of it. All right. Well, smells like... It smells like a cakey bread, like a banana bread. The smell reminds me of a banana bread. All right, so we're gonna, well, I should probably let it cool, but I'm not going to, and I should probably put it on something to cut it better. But I'm also not going to. All right, we're gonna give it a cut. Slices nice. And give it a slice here. It is definitely still warm. Just gonna add to the deliciousness. My fancy green kids plate. I still have these plates from when my child was very, very small. So looking at it, I can see some pecans. It's got a nice harder outer layer, and it is soft on the inside. This is what it looks like. Pretty good. Let's give her a taste-a-roni. Taste-a-roni. Rice-a-roni. Huh. What is that? Is that the nutmeg? It's like a bread. It's a sweet bread. I think the nutmeg is giving it a distinct flavor. I don't even really taste the cinnamon. It's good. It's good. We'll probably eat it. Is it great? It's different. It's good, different. It's good. It's good. It is. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've never had something like this before. So, I mean, I've had breads, like cake breads, you know, but never this. I've never had this specifically. It is good. It was definitely a fun recipe to make, a little blast from the past. Somebody's past, not my past. So I will, you know, not keep this in the rotation. I don't think it's not something that I'm gonna make all the time. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I like it. Maybe a little less nutmeg. I think a little less nutmeg. I had to go get the book while it was baking. I was going through to try and pick our next recipe. And I think since our epic minestrone soup fail, I was like, oh, lasagna's in there, chicken cacciatore, which is a big thing that my grandmom used to make. But I think I settled on, because then I was going to do sloppy joes, because that's in there too. And the homemade sloppy joe is always delicious. Then I found, maybe I found it, potato salad. And considering that, you know, I'm having family over today, I'm not going to make it today, but it, you know, made me think like, oh, summertime, potato salad. We always had, whenever we had family get-togethers, there was always potato salad. For a little while, I think my grandma made it. I also think my Aunt Em was a big contributor to the potato salad fond. I don't think they're the same recipe. I don't know. Probably won't know until I try it. But this is everything's going to fall out when I lift this up. This is the recipe for the potato salad. It's right here. And another cool thing that I found in the book was actually stuff from 2008, like newspaper articles for recipes from 2008. And my grandma passed away in 2006. So I didn't get this book right after she passed. My pop-up was still using it, and it's made me happy to see that he contributed to the book as well. So I know her handwriting, and I know it differs from his, but I'm happy to see that he's a part of it too, because he has also left us. I got the cookbook when he passed on. So I like seeing that, and I think that'll be fun to incorporate him into some of these recipes as well. So next up, we're going to do potato salad. I'm probably going to go on vacation first, and then we'll be back for potato salad. This was fun, quick. I'm going to go enjoy the pool today and hang out with my family. Maybe drop this off to Annem at some point this week. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging. And maybe I'll see you next time. See you later, alligator.